Hey y'all, Patrick here. So I just got home from NAMM 2018 and man, what a show it was. So many great people, so many awesome new products, and so many cool things on the horizon. It was overall just such a fun and truly amazing experience. So I guess here's a list of my 7 best of show products that I really got to see. But really, we all know the #1 thing that came out of NAMM this year is I got to go home sick. Pretty great. So first up, I'm gonna say Strandberg's new bass prototype. It is so cool. I believe this is not their first prototype. They've had one since I think like 2016, but they're still tweaking it and seeing what all they can do to make it better. But man, it was so awesome. It's double chambered. It is so light. It is unbelievable. And also, I didn't know this about Strandberg basses, but they're not like traditionally carved on the back of the neck. It's a very just straight line point. So there's 3 different points in it, and they're like hard cuts instead of just being a smooth curve. But I got used to that pretty much instantly, and it felt so great. It had Nordstrom pickups in it and a dark glass tone capsule as well. But I'm really excited to see them continue to improve this bass and see really what comes with it. Next up is the Fuzz Rochas John. This was such an awesome and fun pedal to play around with. It's basically just one giant knob. All the way to the left is -1 octave, all the way to the right is +1 octave, and you just blend in between that, and it's so much fun, especially when it's stacked with other pedals. Next up, the Electrofastest Super Disruptor. Now this one was super cool. It's a fuzz pedal specifically designed for bass that has so many crazy sounds in it that it was just a blast to play through. There's so many little things that I know I didn't really get to dig into with my time with it, but I'm really excited to go ahead and get one and see what I can do with it. So it's a fuzz pedal, but at the same time, there's a second foot switch that lets you go -2 octave, -4 octave, or -8 on top of that. And it gets super like 8-bitty, super crunch, super compressed, and it's just, oh, it was so much fun to play around with and really get the most absurd, ridiculous sounds. The Crazy Tube Circuits Derange. Now this is an envelope filter with so much more to it. It's mixed with a fuzz, and just like with the Super Disruptor, there's so much craziness inside of the box where it just makes it over the top, ridiculous, and so much fun to play around with. This one though, I just had a smile on my face the whole time. It was ridiculous the amount of just absurd sounds you can get with it, but at the same time, how creative I wanted to get with it instantly. The Tenable R2, man. Okay, so Tenable wasn't actually at the show itself, but this was given to Dark Glass Electronics to use for the booth throughout the weekend, and man, I fell in love with this bass. Sasha Tenable of the band Intronaut makes his own guitars and basses by hand, and they're so cool, and the R2 is definitely no exception. I fell in love with this bass. The shape, the sound, the way it played, the feeling of it. Oh, I loved it. The Dingwall D-Bird Standard. Now last year, the regular D-Bird was basically my favorite bass of the year. It felt so right, it sounded perfect, and it played amazing. I loved everything about this bass, and I wanted one so bad. And this year, they introduced the Standard, which is basically going to be made in Korea, if I remember correctly. But it felt, played, sounded, and was everything that a Dingwall should be, but at a cheaper price point. It's a phenomenal bass. Tempo boards. Now, these are pedal boards that are just more than pedal boards. Instead of using, you know, Velcro or zip ties or something like that, you actually use these cool plates that attach the pedals to the pedal board, and it's super simple and super easy and extremely organized as well. And on the sides, you have different modules where you can customize exactly what you want in it. You can have XLR, instrument, you can even have a USB to say charge your phone or charge your iPad that you're using alongside with it. There's so many cool different like ways to customize it, different colors and different sizes as well. I definitely want to get my hands on one as soon as possible. The Dark Glass Alpha Omega Ultra. Love, love, love everything the Dark Glass guys are putting out. It's just so much innovation year after year. So as with the other Ultras, you're able to have the distortion foot switchable, but now you have a 6-band graphic EQ, so you can use the sliders on each of them, which is just fantastic. And now as well, they introduced cab simulation. There's a headphone jack at the top, and then also micro USB port on the side, to where they're going to have a program for both Mac and PC called the Dark Glass Suite, where it's cab impulses. So different cabinet styles, different microphones, mix and match, and you can DI out from there. It is awesome. The brand new line of basses from Chapman Guitars. Man, so I've been eagerly waiting to see if they would reissue the original MLB-1 or really see what they would do, but they went above and beyond, especially with Dave Hollingworth's signature. Man, it is so cool. So it's kind of reminds me of the shape of like an Ibanez like sound gear bass mixed with a Spectre, but a little different, and it looks just way better than me. The top is beautiful. The fan frets feel great. There's also 26 frets, which is nuts. There are active electronics in it, and then just it sounds so great. A very boomy, very throaty low end with some great high end that pops, but it's an extremely well balanced sounding and well balanced weight wise bass too. The neck is super like narrow, so it's a very like small feeling neck, but you glide across it effortlessly. This is easily my favorite bass of the year, and I had a blast playing it. I'm so excited to hopefully get one of these in my hands and really get a decent demo done of it. Ooh, also real quick, there's the Belger line of basses. I finally got to play them. The growler feels and sounds awesome, and there's also the brand new Hyperion bass as well. So the Hyperion series is Fluff's signature series. It's sort of like an RD shape, and now they have a bass equivalent to it. It's heavy, it's mean, and I loved it. So again, it's heavy. God, it's so damn heavy, but it feels so solid in your hands. I'm really excited to hopefully get one of these too, just because it plays and feels so spectacularly. So yeah, those are my favorite products I got to experience at this year's NAMM. There are just so many cool things, so many weird things as well, that it was just an absolute blast. A huge shout out to the Dark Glass Electronics team for inviting me out and having me work with them. They're such just a loving and welcoming group of guys. I love them to death. And then also the Fuzz Rochas guys, Crazy Tube Circuits, just there's so many great people and so many great friends I love at NAMM. A huge shout out to Eric Marrow as well, who did demos every day at the show. I think he's done 90 uploads so far, which is just crazy to think about. But again, if you're a fan that came up to me and said, hey, I appreciate it so much, all my patrons, thank you guys so much for the support and everything. Thank you guys for watching, for sharing, for hanging out with me on social media and everything. But I'm gonna try and get better now. Maybe sleep for 2 or 3 days straight, take a bunch of different medicine, try not to be sick anymore, and get back to work. Thank you guys so much for the support, for watching, and I'll see you all next time.